How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Um, I'm doing very well. We have a very awkward situation here where
We
I am in
do.
Texas, you're in Texas, and we are in completely separate rooms
I was about to say you were
because
sitting
of,
right there. Now you're upstairs.
yeah, yeah, of course, audio and technology. It's very particular of how things have to go and have to be, and it's just what we have to do.
I was about to say I'm not sure people would want to hear me twice and you twice after we each said something. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, our minds would have melted. But yeah,
yep,
I guess so. You have a new song coming out on Friday. Why don't
I
you
do. Yeah,
tell
Between
us about
These
that?
Barstools is dropping on Friday, and it's my favorite song. It's not the catchiest song in the world, but I'm obsessed with it. It's a very powerful song. So very
It
knowing my voice is what happens.
what makes it so different?
It's so long story short, when I got to Nashville last November and I wrote it with Jessica and Amy, I had met, first person I ever met in Nashville was this lady. Her portrait actually is hanging on the wall of legends at the White Elephant Saloon. And I didn't find this out though until a couple months after, but the bartender was telling me about her career. But one of her good friends is Willie Nelson. They have the same guitar tech, to say the least. They've both been around for decades. But she's a classically trained guitarist. And when I walked in the room, I didn't know when you went to Nashville, you weren't supposed to wear whatever you wear to perform in Texas. But I had on rhinestone jeans, and I was going through a phase where I was teasing my hair up a lot, which we don't talk about now. If you look at any of the photos for it, that's how my hair is, and I'm sorry in advance. It looks good, but I would not do that now. But anyway, and I had on this pink sparkly top, and I walked in, and I was sitting at the bar, and she walked up and she goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" And I said, "Really? How could you tell?" And she was like, "Just give it another couple hours." And then I was mortified because I realized, oh, no one dresses like this to go to a writer's round. But mind you, it was my first night in town, and we ended up talking for 3.5 hours. She was in her 80s, and when I went to my right the next day, I found out everybody in town has met her at some point. It was actually wild, though, that I met her my first night in town because apparently she's not based out of Nashville anymore. So it was just happenstance uh, or what do they call it? I'm blanking on the word. It's late. Anyway, coincidence. It was a coincidence she was there, and that's what we ended up writing the song about. Though all of our conversations we'd had with her, and I had the title for about a year before I even wrote or pitched it to anyone to write with, because I knew I wanted it to be a co-write, and I just kept accumulating story after story after story from people I'd met in bars. So that's really the heart of the song. It's just every single person I've ever met at a bar who's given me encouragement, or I've given them encouragement, or sometimes you meet strangers and you bare your souls to each other at the bar, and then you never see each other again, but you're both just going through it, and it's like, well, might as well should go through it together. So that's what the song's about.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it how your songs were traditionally recorded, or did you try any new
I
processes or anything?
recorded with Tim Lightyear at Cosmopolitan Studios. This was out of all the songs we recorded, the one for me that was the most straightforward. It was a story song, and I remember when we were talking through the production, I wanted something bluesy and country and with a little bit of a rock edge too, because the bridge is really powerful. So that's what we did. And Tim nailed it. I love working with Tim. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. We're going to be seeing them tomorrow at the
yeah,
Stepfields.
tell him I said hi. And if he needs background vocals or just someone to never be ready, I'm here.
You were ready. You were ready today.
So every time it's a joke, they'll get it. Whenever they would
Uh,
ask me if I was ready in the studio, I always went never. They were
uh,
used to that. So I just
yeah,
it's
no,
like the small irritation. I'm like, I know it's gonna get under their skin.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Did, do you get the heebie-jeebies when you're recording, or are you just right at home?
There were some songs I did, some songs I didn't. So between these two bar stools, I had done it enough. I didn't. Heartbreaker's Paradise, yes. I that song scared me to sing, so that one was scary.
Now, when you have a song and you know it needs a co-write, what brings that about? When you just have a feeling, or is it?
Usually it's just a feeling. I know between these two bar stools with the story, a lot of people I've thought if I pitched it to them just because of the title, I thought they would want to make it a love song. So when I met Jessica and Amy and we were all talking about the woman I had met, I would say her name, but she told me I'm never allowed to say her name. That's apparently a condition of meeting her. I don't know why. uh, that I knew there were people I could pitch it to and they would understand. And that was my gut feeling on that one. But a lot of times too, I'll just go in a writer's room and we'll start talking and the idea comes then. But I love writing with people and I write on my own a lot too.
Now, do you have a favorite person that you sat next to at a bar?
There's been a few. I've got notes in my phone. There's a solid top 10 for sure. But I like to look back at them and remember because people I always get little nuggets of wisdom, if you will, and they're some things I want to think about for the rest of my life, and then there's others I'm like, I'm curious to see if by the time I'm hopefully old and I die, if this actually proves true. So if it's this is just one person's life experience that they're basing this off of. So
Now, do you keep a journal? Are you very good note taking with everything like a stories all around you of song
uh I have a
type deal?
notes app in my phone. It's got random lines, photos of things that I that are inspiring, and then just if I meet someone and they say something and I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea or angle, I'll throw it in there. And usually five or six of them come together to be one song, or I'll just look through them and find inspiration to head a different direction. But it's a very long app or a long note.
Is this one continuous
Yeah, it's just like it's
file?
just you scroll and scroll and scroll, and then I've got a completely separate one with song titles. So because I kept losing the titles and all the song lines I had, and I was like, oh, we should probably make this two notes. So they're just pinned at the top, and I go into them when I need them.
Yeah. Now from a songwriting
Yeah,
perspective, what's the hardest to write, the first verse or the second verse for you?
it just depends on the song. I've had some,
Okay.
they come out in 10 minutes, no problem. I've had some, we'll have the verses completely done, especially in co-writes. It'll either be the verses are the easiest thing in the world to write, and then you'll be stuck on the chorus, or you'll write the chorus, and then you just have no idea what to do with the verses, and there's no in between. It's always one or the other so far for me. If I ever have a write where it's
Yeah.
both, I'm not sure I would want to go record the song in the studio. I feel like that's a bad omen. It was that hard to write. It's going to be hard to flesh out.
Yeah. Now with this new single coming out, is this
Yeah.
going towards like a larger project, like an album or EP?
So that's a great question because originally I recorded five songs with Tim, and my I was just gonna drop them, but after talking to a lot of people, I've learned okay, so drop one here, drop one here, drop one here, because Spotify apparently that's better for all of the playlisting stuff you have to do, the business side essentially, and but at the end of it, they will all be in one place. It's just they're gonna be released individually and then they'll all be on one EP. So yes, it's for an EP, but no, they're not coming out dropping like an EP.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild the market
Yeah.
of
Tim was telling me
it's
about it. He was like, don't do that. He was like, waterfall them. He was like, drop one, and then when you drop the next one, put the other one underneath it. And I was like, that's smart. And then I talked to other people, and that's what they do as well. So
yeah, it'd be nice if like Spotify could just tell you what they want, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Like
I wish they
how
would.
do you get on playlists? Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's wild when you because you know why would you want everybody doing the same thing? I get, but as an artist, you know,
Yeah.
it's costly to make music and put music out, and
Yeah.
you want to see a reward, you
Oh
know.
yeah, for sure. It's been
Now,
really rewarding.
which
So, oh, go ahead.
oh, that's fine.
Oh, I was gonna say it's been really rewarding so far, just from the people who've heard it, off my phone that I've been with, and also just my friends. Because I was like, at the end of the day, the people you love are the ones whose opinions matter most. And I was like, I hope you guys like this, and thankfully they did. Or if they didn't tell me. That's all I know. But
Yeah.
that's been really fun seeing their reactions. So.
And do you have like a go-to critic that?
Oh, my
You
mom.
trust 100%? Oh,
My
that's
mom and my brother, they'll tell it to me straight.
yes. We just had Jared Morris on, and
Yeah.
he said he let his parents listen to his record, and his dad loved it, and his mom was like, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry, I hate it."
I remember my mom when we recorded, so this one's coming out next summer, but it's called Heartbreaker's Paradise. It's not a country song. It's got trumpets on it, but it was the song when I took it to Tim. I was like, this is the experimental. I have this, we wrote it in the writer's room as this really slow, moody, heart, but sultry song. And I had this crazy idea for the chorus on this melody, and it was super catchy. And I told Tim, I was like, and also I hear trumpets on it. And he went, what? But he went through with it, and it's been everybody's favorite. It's so catchy. But I remember when I took the demo, which the finished song sounds like the demo. I took it to my mom, and I was like, "Look at this! This sounds so awesome." She goes, "Oh, I hate it." She was like, "You need to go back and redo that." And I was like, "Just trust me, just trust me." And at the end of it, she was like, "This is this. I get it now." And it was funny. She was like, "No, you can't record that."
That's funny. Who
Yeah.
played who played the trumpet on it?
Jordan Carr. That was really cool to
Hmm.
watch. He got in there and he had a bunch of different mouthpieces, and I think he had two different. He had a flugel and then a trumpet, and he would come up with the trumpet line and then do the upper and lower harmonies for all of it. It was crazy to watch. I've never. My brain, it would take. I don't know. The way I do vocals is how he does trumpet, and I was like, it's the only way I can even comprehend. But it was even more advanced than what I do vocally. I felt like I was like, whoa, this is mind blowing.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's only three. I don't even know what they're called, and so many
Yeah,
sounds come out of
yeah,
it's. And I know it'd be humbling just to pick up, thinking, oh, what's to it, and just being,
yeah. I know. I
but
was joking with him. I was like, I can do a mouth trumpet a little bit. And he was like, I can play a real trumpet. I quit. I think I quit.
that's funny.
Yeah,
Now, the way you do, I know how like you do your layering with your vocals with yourself.
yeah.
Is that is that something you just found like you liked, or was there another artist that does that
I
made you want to go down that road?
honestly, it started back when I was in college. There was a studio in Commerce, which I didn't find out about until I'd been there 2 years. It's the smallest town in the world. I'd walked out of this coffee shop they have on the square called Mugs 100 times, and I saw it and I was like, "What's that doing there?" But I went in there to record some little acoustic songs, which they're on Spotify if anyone wants to go listen. But everybody's favorite is Walkabout. I'll just go ahead and tell y'all. It sounds the most complete, just me and a guitar. But I was going through a breakup and I wanted to record those. And I remember when I was recording them, I only had enough money to do one take, so it had to be start to finish. Whatever happened, happened, and that was it. And I remember when I got through with it, they were like, "Hey, do you want to come back in and try some background vocals?" Because one of the producers, he had realized that I did background vocals at my church, and he was like, "So I know you can find harmonies, and we've got some projects. It's petty cash. You're in college, you need money." And I was like, "Of course." Because who doesn't need money when you're in college? And that's how it started. But I ended up when we went into the project, I really love how when you do your own harmonies, your voice blends with your voice. So that was why I did that. But I remember we got to Whiskey Me Away, and I had Tim hop on and do some male harmonies as well. But I have friends I would definitely call if I needed to. But I was just like, I'm here, I can do it, and it's my voice is going to blend really well with my voice, and I didn't feel like it was a necessity yet. So
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to rely on yourself too. But when you perform live, do you find that ever to be an issue of like the sound not being
it
there? You know what I mean? Like,
it depends on the what all I'm doing vocally. Honestly, the issue is usually not the sound. It's usually if I'm doing a crazy run because I didn't realize until a couple weeks ago, but when I saw someone who hadn't seen me for a while, but I guess I've gotten faster at doing like the vocal runs and stuff, and they're like, that's gonna be hard to keep up with. And I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. But my drummer, he usually does them, and then my bassist, he'll hop on sometimes too as well. So we make it work. We're
yeah,
the triune trio. I have a lead guitarist too, but my main guy, he he's taking a break for now, so we've got some other people filling in.
Nice. That
Yeah.
is that's got to be wild to find that you can do something new with your voice going down the line. Because
Yeah, I know. I discovered whenever I started doing open mics, they had a karaoke mic one night, and I had been watching videos. So I love listening to rock and like metal music when I can. It keeps me awake at night. And I wanted to learn to do screamo. I just thought it was cool, and I was watching YouTube videos, and I kind of got to where I could do it a little bit. And I met a drummer who played in a heavy metal band. He was like, "There's no way," and I was like, "I want to just try it one time in the studio, just for somebody. If they need a girl to do screamo, I want to try it." That's a weird bucket list thing. We'll see. I don't know if it'd be good enough, but I'd be down.
oh, that's got to happen. I was gonna say if it's already
Yeah.
happening, I got to see some videes
I want to
because
try
if
it.
you,
I want to do it in the studio. I just thought I was like, it's not how I typically write music and stuff. So I was like, I don't want to be like the screamo
that's funny.
girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a band called Ginger that has a female singer. The sounds that come out of her,
yeah.
it's
I've seen them on
crazy.
TikTok. I know every time I see it, I'm like, I'm not that good, but I want to. That's what I aspire to be.
Yeah, because like some of the videos you're like, oh, what's she gonna sing? You know, some like
Yeah,
Martina McBride. You know,
yeah. And then it's like, nope.
it's, yeah, man,
Yeah,
it's crazy because
it
there's
is.
not a lot of females that do that.
No, there's not.
Like with your voice, do you know how many octaves it spans? I don't even like know if that's like a
Well, I
thing.
know my belting, I think I can hit a G5, and then if I go into like doing opera, I can go higher, but I can't do whistle notes, so I'm gonna say like solid G5, which I
It's
probably
like
that's stupid high, but yeah. I like and I think
yeah,
it's a
to me,
G5. I just know like if I'm looking at a piano, there's like C3, C4. Yeah, it's stupid. I think it may be a G4. I may be wrong, but as I say, I'm not a true I don't know. I can tell you exactly which key it is on a piano. I'm gonna put it that way. My brain's not working right now.
I got you. Now with I can't remember if I asked you this before. Do you
Yeah,
play piano as well?
I do. Yes.
So that's you playing on what is it? Scratches? Is that
Yeah, that's
how?
me. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love piano.
I
That's
do too. I took a couple years in middle school, and I'm about an intermediate level, I think they call it, but I never went any further. It was so time consuming, and that number of hours you have to put in. And I remember I was just like, I'd rather be singing or you know outside, or I don't have 3 hours a day to devote to this.
yeah. Now, if there was one instrument you could be like super proficient in, what do you have one?
It would be a lead guitarist. It would be that.
That'd
I feel
be
like I'm getting
that'd be
closer
awesome.
though. I've been practicing, but I can't sing and riff. I've discovered I can only riff vocally or riff on lead. And I've always noticed when I watch, lead guitarists that they sing as well, but they don't sing and riff at the same time. So I was like, okay, there's obviously a balance here. I have yet to find.
But you can play chords all day and sing, right? That's
Yeah, I've got that, but I've been trying to there's one song I wrote with Dave Lenahan and Georgia Miles. Dave, he came up with this I call it a Metallica-esque lick because the groove reminded me of a couple of Metallica songs, but we were doing it and I just looked at it and I was like, this is gonna take me 6 months to even be able to sing and play, but I finally got it and I can play it live now, but it was stupid hard. And it's not even that hard when I go now that I look at it. It's just moving my fingers and trying to get my voice to do what it needs to do. Ooh, that was a challenge.
yeah. It's just like anything. The more you do it,
Yeah.
the more
Oh yeah.
you. Next thing you know, you'll be doing it just watching TV. Just
I hope that's what I'm trying to get to. I was just like, I want to get here because it looks fun and and the guitars are cooler than acoustic guitars. I like the aesthetic.
yeah. Yeah, that's like a lot of artists. It always kind of like blew my mind. Like they're like okay with their skill set, and it's just like,
Yeah.
don't you want to? like get better, like
Yeah.
they're like, no, hey, as long as I can play my cowboy chords, I'm cool. And I'm
Well,
just like, dude, that like,
I've even been with the cowboy chords. I've been on a kick lately of seeing which variations I can do up and down the fret, just because it sounds, people stop and notice more when you're, at an acoustic show or doing background music at a restaurant. I was just like, I just want to get better. It's fun to me.
yeah, and it especially acoustic, if you
Yeah,
can play those intricate chords and everything, and
yeah,
it's so much more layering, sounds more full.
yeah,
Because man, with COVID, I was done with acoustic because that was the
yeah,
only game in town where I was from. It just sounds so thin, and that's like
yeah,
because every time my band when we play, that's why I went out and bought a 12 string to kind of make it sound like a piano.
yeah.
But if you know what you're doing, if you're a good chordist, man, it makes a huge difference, and I
Hmm.
think it keeps the audience engaged more. Because unless you're at like a listening room type environment where like the people are there
Yeah,
for you, the stories, they get a
yep,
part of your personality, and like they probably don't even
yeah,
hear the guitar. Which
yep,
that was coming over. Like there are no listening rooms for heavy metal and all this stuff I was
yeah,
listening to, and I just remember the first time going to the Bird's Nest, and people are like at the bar, like, can I get this? And I was like, oh wow, this is pretty
yeah,
cool. Like if you got a squeaky chair, you're
yeah,
nervous.
yep.
I love it. What kind of room do you prefer when you're performing?
Full band, I love a lively crowd. I love getting a crowd hyped. That is my sole goal with a band show. By the end of it, if I have my hands up and I tell people I want their hands up, I want them to scream when I say scream. We say jump, jump. I love doing stuff like that. But and if it's an acoustic show, I love listening room type stuff. I love telling the stories behind songs. So I'm very much a storyteller by trade in my family. We're all storytellers. So that for me is a very natural show environment when it's just me and Gibby. So,
Yeah. Now, if you have a crowd that's not getting rowdy, do you have like a go-to phrase
oh
or?
yeah, I'll pick out songs that I know people will notice. So I know, for example, on this past Saturday, I was playing at a fancy steakhouse, and when you're playing at places like that, I had someone call it a pay the bills show once, and I was like, that's a pretty good way to put it, because your goal is to be background noise and not interrupt their dinner. But uh, there was this one table, and they kept looking at me, and I was like, I just feel like they're gonna like Pink Pony Club. So I pulled out Pink Pony Club and played that, and then the whole room was singing Pink Pony Club, and people were up out of their chairs, and I was like, it worked. But that's been one lately. And then Alone by Heart, that's another one I'll do. And one that I like to do if I'm picking up on more of a rock vibe instead of a country vibe, is I'll do Simple Man as well, my version of it. So that one's really fun.
Nice.
But yeah, I do a lot of country music
What?
mostly, but I
Yeah,
like my rock.
that'd be cool. What's
Yeah.
you said you're uh man, I can't talk today either.
You're
Busy
good.
day.
It's the struggle. It's late.
Yeah, with a Simple Man, with your
Yeah.
version, do
Yeah.
you play different like with chords or different rhythm?
So it's honestly the way it came about is I was just a really dumb guitar player. Back when I started, I could do all I did was cowboy chords, and I was not very good at singing and playing. All of the songs I had learned over the course of years, and whenever I started doing shows, I just was like, okay, there are two chord songs, three chord songs. Some had four chords, that was it, and it was just G, A, E minor, C, just basic chords. And then I finally learned to do a B minor bar chord. But in the middle of all of that, I decided to learn Simple Man because I went to an open mic one night, and this guy was like, I've never heard a girl do Simple Man. He's like, you don't look like a girl who could do Simple Man. And I was just going, okay, you know what? Fine, I'll be back in a month. So I went home and I learned it. I thought I learned it great. I get there that night, and the open mic host, I love him to pieces. He looks at me and he goes, that was the wildest version of Simple Man I've ever heard. He's like, that was incredible. And I've never gotten any bad commentary to my face about it. Again, I don't typically people don't like it, they're just not going to tell you. But I've had a lot of people come up after and they love it. But it's like 6 to 10 minutes the way we play it. But he told me after I played it, he said, "I've never thought about playing it in 6/8 instead of 4/4." I said, "What?" So I learned it on accident, but it works. And now anybody who comes and plays with my band, they're always like, "You have to learn this in 6/8." I'm like, "I promise it works." I've had multiple guitarists now do it. But it sounds super cool. And it drags out, I don't know, it
Oh,
just drags out the song. It makes it even moodier and darker and oh, it's great.
you, now that I think of it, you made a TikTok video
I
about
did, I
that.
did, I did the chorus.
I,
It sounds even better though with full band because, I've got Zach on drums. He's like doing cymbal swells, and I mean, we're really bringing the dramatics.
I think for some reason, Step Brothers, the the
Yeah,
Catalina wine mixer.
yeah.
I don't know why I always think about
No,
that.
I'll like walk up and he'll be going, I'm like, yes.
That's funny how you told the guy I'll be back in a month.
Yeah. Well, it was one of my favorite open mics because it was up at Kickbox in Denison, which just closed. But Oliver White, he's the host. I love him to pieces. He's amazing. But they, the guy there, I don't even think he was there the next time, but he was. I remember they have musicians, and I think they moved it to the George Tavern if anybody ever wants to go. But I haven't been able to go in a while. But they have the whole town of Denison there, the most musical town I have ever been to. They have people who can just jump up on stage and play any song. Like it's like a live karaoke, but it's an open mic. And I know sometimes they'll have they have a guy who plays upright bass. They've had saxophonists come. I mean, you just don't know what instruments you're going to get that night, and they'll jump up and play anything. So it's a full band open mic, and it's nobody has ever played together. It's one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It seems like the whole
Yeah,
town knows how to play an instrument.
yeah,
Like, I guess kind of like walking down Nashville, you
yeah,
you can tell who plays and who's there. Just the
yeah.
somebody called it redneck Disneyland.
Had some
It's
experience
wild.
with the goers of that.
Yeah, it's Broadway's definitely one of my least favorite like roads to cross as a
I
pedestrian.
prefer
It's
Midtown if I'm
there's
going to hang out. I'll go to Midtown. I'll hit Losers or the Red Door or Odie's. There's just a lot more chill.
yeah, yeah. I think the last time we liked Printer's Alley. 'Cause, dude,
I
the
don't think
first time I
I've
went to
been.
Nashville, it's like an alley, but
Oh wow.
it- with Nashville, like the first time I went, like I went to the bathroom. I was at one bar, and when I walked out, because I get turned around,
Yeah.
and I was in another bar,
Yeah.
and I'm like, where am I? I'm like, well, excuse
Yeah.
me, like you don't have a tab here. I'm like, where am I? And I'm like texting, and then I'm like, got turned
Yeah.
around, ended up in an alley on an entirely different street. And I'm just like,
Yep.
it's,
I
it was like,
remember we went in the front door of Tootsie's and somehow I came out on the back alley and then I tried to get back in and they told me I had to go walk around. I said, "What are you talking about? I thought this only had one door."
yeah, that was last year at
Oh wow.
you were there at the White Elephant.
Yeah.
They told me I couldn't leave through the front door, and I was like, I don't know where I am. You know,
Hmm.
my friends all went there, and he's like, I don't care. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I'm
It's like
not
help me out.
stumbling. I'm not, you know. And I got
Yeah.
in the back alley, and I'm like, well, I'm lost.
Yeah.
And thank God people were calling me. They were calling. They're like, hey, where are you? I'm like, hey, I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know how to leave through the back door. But yeah, that's funny.
Um,
Now, is there like a career of an artist that you would love to have that path?
I
Or
mean,
that
I mean, I Lainey Wilson, Carrie Underwood, Brand Lambert, PayPal. I mean, pretty much any leading lady in country music.
nice.
Chris
I like
Stapleton
that
though and Luke
answer.
Combs are great as well. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that answer. You know, some people are just fine with just, I just like touring my state, and that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, there's a market for it, but
I
Hell yeah, you
honestly,
want
I love like someone told me once like they asked me if I'd made it in music and I said, well, I already did make it. I'm doing what I love and I'm making a living at it, that was always my goal. But I'm doing it with people I love too. That was another element of it. But I told them I was like, now I really want to see how far I can take it. I'm just curious because it's progressed so far, I feel like in just a year and a half. So with me actually being like, okay, let's try it.
yeah. What's your favorite part about
Honestly, the
music?
business
Say,
side, I really like negotiating, calling people, meeting people, networking, going to events, and just learning the different sides of it and how it works and what not to do and do. And I feel like there's no such thing as failure either, because it's like, okay, you tried it, it didn't work. Let's go try it this way now. So it's like with between these two barstools, I've learned lots of things, like TikTok, if you don't have a song out, apparently thinks your music audio or whatever your song is branded
yeah,
content. Don't
yeah,
know why, but every video it's flagged, and I've had to go appeal it. And I was like, okay, this is new. Facebook and Instagram have done it as well, but it's just been a lot of
yeah,
learning curves. But I was like, at least I know for the next one. It's probably better to just be like, hey, this dropped today, and promote it after.
yeah. That's wild. I know so many people that would never say the business side.
Yeah, well,
That
I told my mom, you only perform, I would say 5% of the time. So, that's the majority of I mean, I call it my job because it is my job, but that's the majority of my job. So if I don't like that, then why am I doing it? Because I get
yeah,
performing is fun, don't get me wrong, but there's 50 million things that go into it's like for Saturday. You got to plan the routing. You got to, what's going in what car. Are you taking a trailer? Are you taking the van? Who's running sound? Who's running lights? There's 50 moving pieces because it's never just you and you got to make sure it's all together. But when it comes together, I find it really satisfying. So
yeah,
it's like, there's a adrenaline, dopamine rush, whatever they call it. And that's what keeps me
yeah.
going.
Now, when you start getting in the higher tiers and
Yeah.
you have to like give that off to somebody, is that
Yeah.
going to be hard?
I don't think it will be
Because
super hard. I actually already have a little bit because I've run out of time. But one of my friends, Lydia, like she helps me with photos, and my friend Hannah helps me with editing graphics. She did the cover for Between These Two Barstools and for all the singles you're about to see. She's a phenomenal graphic designer and Photoshop wizard, as I like to call her. But they helped me with that. And then Lydia's boyfriend, Daniel, I remember when they started dating, he had video equipment and we've worked together now for over a year and he's been helping. We've learned a lot together on, doing reels and content and what works and what doesn't. Like a lot of the content you're seeing for Between These Two Barstools, we recorded that back in January and February. We have stuff lined up for the rest of the songs that looks completely different because we learned, okay, you can't just stand there and sing the song, you got to do more than that now to get people's attention. And we've learned a lot, but we're working with what we have for Between These Two Barstools because again, we filmed that all, what is it, October? That's 10 months ago. So we've learned a lot since then, but they've been helping me with stuff like that. And I'm eternally grateful for all of their help because I couldn't do it without them. And this summer too, Caden, he came on the road with us when we did some shows down south and he was helping with security and loading stuff in and setting up and tearing down at shows. And people that are willing to help, anybody can come in and learn and, help you get it done. So I'm a firm believer in that. So I don't think I'll have a hard time handing it off. Because I miss songwriting. I don't get to songwrite as much because of having to do all that. So that's for me, it's like that's a fair trade-off. I get to be more over here.
yeah,
Yeah.
more with the pen and paper.
Yeah. Well, and also
I
too,
got you.
it's not like the business side is ever going to go away. I'm sure they'll, be calling me or texting me about stuff still. So, which they still do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
well,
it's
it
never
it
going
is.
away.
Yeah, well, it's your name on the
Yeah.
marquee on the album.
Yeah.
It's your brand.
No, exactly. Yeah, I remember we had something go wrong at one show, and mind you, it wasn't our fault, but everybody was like, "Why did that happen?" And I was just going like, "It was out of our control, but I know my name's on everything, so I'm going to take the heat, which I'm okay with. I can explain it to you. I'll happily explain. That's the risk."
That's fine. Yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about?
We were playing at Tufts Brewery in McKinney, or for the single release show. We have a lot of people that live in that area that wanted to come out, and I was like, "Where can we do a free show just as a thank you to everybody since it's our first single?" And Tufts was like, "We got it." So, and they're doing a line dancing class before we perform for anybody that wants to line dance to any of the cover songs we do. So, which I love line dancing, so I was like, "Please."
Do, do any of your songs have line dances?
Well, you'll have to watch the reels coming out to see.
That's obviously yeah. But yeah, I'm glad we finally got you on video
Yeah, I was about to say, I
because
felt so
we
bad
did this.
last time when it stopped, and you were like, "Oh, it'll keep recording," and then Steve texted me, and I went,
Yeah,
"No." But I will say
yeah.
the thunderstorm was crazy, so I'm glad everyone was okay. But at least you have the
Yeah,
audio, worst come to worst. So
yeah. Which I should put that out sometime too.
yeah, you've had
I
two
have to do
interviews now.
yeah. I have to do a double header.
Yeah,
But yeah, but yeah. I know like dinner's at 9, right?
I think
We're
so.
supposed to.
Yeah, I don't want to make them run late. I'm driving you. Did Steve? I have to make sure I got the address too. So yeah.
Yeah, he sent me something. He wants me to pick up his stuff. But yeah, I guess one did here.
That works for me. I was gonna say I'm ready to get food. I know we're both tired too. We're both stuttering
Yeah,
and tumbling over words.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So all right, let's do this. Well,
All
thank you for
right.
jumping on.
Yeah, thanks again for having me and flying down to Texas to make it up,
Yep,
even though you're in town for other
100%.
stuff. Yeah. All
But
right. Well,
all
I'll
right.
see you, I guess, downstairs. And are you coming down here, I guess, in a couple minutes?
Yeah, he wants me to run some stuff
Okay.
upstairs. So.
Sounds good.